And Scorched Haven has been around for pretty much forever. I want to say it's been around since the beta, but I couldn't confirm that. Scorched Haven, for those of you that don't quite remember which map that is, sometimes it is a bit hard to remember all the 2v2 maps. It is the magma map, or the lava map. Don't worry, the lava does not rise and kill off all of your units and nexuses and command centers. This map just has a lava tile set, and both of the bases are, the players are not connected to their teammates' base, but they're really close, and their ramps point straight toward each other. Their ramps are in front of their naturals so that they can both secure a really nice and early like natural expansion. But one thing we do have to be wary of is sometimes Protoss aggression on this map can be pretty strong. And I think it'd be really interesting to see Earlham University do something like that, where you use the sentries to force field off one of your enemy's armies, so you force field their ramp, and then you go onto the main base of the other person. So, could see some interesting strategies involving that. But looks like we're going to get the game started. It looks like this time I will be possibly the only spectator, as we were experiencing a little bit of lag in the last game, so sorry to all the other fellow spectators who are wanting to watch the game through their StarCraft 2. Hopefully I am doing a good enough job and you enjoy my commentary enough that, you know, you can just sit back and relax and let me mess around with the camera and whatnot. Anyways, it looks like Earlham University's players want to go to the bathroom. I was talking about this before. It's very important to get your bladder out. You never know when this could turn into a 3-hour like crazy game where there's 2 Zerglings and 1 Zealot, you know, versus a Marine and a Sentry, and you know, people are dancing around trying to kill off each other's pylons and supply depots and crazy stuff. And if you have a you have a full stomach and you really need to go to the bathroom during all of that, it can be really difficult to concentrate. That's why I actually make a very, very important point to tell anyone that either I'm trying to teach them how to play a little bit. I always say go to the bathroom before you play, because you'll play better. I definitely go to the bathroom every single time I need to start playing my ladder games and whatnot. So hopefully you guys all take that advice to heart. I think it's a very important lesson for everyone to learn. Players just getting on Skype, that's actually really a cool thing to note, that the voice chat can be so great in those 2v2 games. Oftentimes, if you're microing, your Marines around, you don't want to get hit by the Banelings, and your Stalkers are doing the blink micro, you don't want to spend time during all of that battle to try and communicate to your partner by typing something out. You want to be able to just say it out loud. It becomes a lot easier. So being on like some kind of voice communication, Ventrilo, Skype, I know that there are a lot of others, but it can be really useful. And it does look like I think the players are in fact ready, so we're going to see this game be starting pretty soon, I imagine. But just talking a little bit about this map, Scorched Haven is a little bit of a longer map than some of the other 2v2 maps, but it still feels like a pretty small map. The rush distances really aren't that far away, so oftentimes on this map we do see a lot of aggression, but one thing I do like about this map is those natural expansions do allow for some slightly more economic play. It can be a little bit difficult deciding where to take your third expansion, as I'll actually just go ahead and pull up an image of the map right here. We can see here that these are the natural expansions that I was talking about. These can be great places to expand, but taking a third, it's a little bit strange, as you either have to take it at the edge of only one of your teammates can take it at the edge of your map, or the other person has to take it somewhere in the center, and it can be really frustrating to try and secure that third expansion. Anyways, we're going to get this game started, and over here in the top right-hand corner, we have our purple Terran, Makomi. He's going to be representing Purdue University, along with his ally, LaBouffe, as these blue Zerg player. Interesting to note, Well, actually, I'll get back to that in a second. Let me just introduce the heroes from Earlham College. It's going to be Pyrodyne as the Red Terran, and his ally is going to be Thrust. I really actually like this name, Thrust. It feels very empowering. I feel like he's a Viking or something. But you know, he's going to be the green Protoss. And one interesting thing to note that I was going to say is Makomi actually does not normally play Terran, so he's going to be off racing just a little bit. So he normally actually plays the Protoss, and at the same time, LeBouf also plays Protoss. So we're going to have two off racing players from Purdue University. Hopefully that does not come back to haunt them. But meanwhile, we will see, actually, interesting to note, Makomi actually decided to go for the high ground wall off. Does not want units streaming into his base. Meanwhile, it looks like Pyrodyne and Thrust, oh god, I love his name, Thrust, going for the low ground wall off. And this is actually really great to see, as this usually indicates that they're going to be going for faster natural expansions. I was talking about how easy it is to defend it because you're so close to each other. But if a Protoss player or someone force fields this ramp, it can cause a lot of issues, as you can't get your units down to defend your ally. But luckily for them, neither LeBouf nor Makomi are playing their Protoss mains. They are in fact both playing Zerg and Terran, so they don't have to worry about those force fields. Makomi looks like he's just continuing to mine pure minerals. Has not decided to grab any gas geysers yet, and that first Marine will be popping out pretty soon. This poor little SCV trapped in here, just going to try and hide. Hopefully his red colors will blend in with the lava tile backset or background. It looks like at the same time LeBouf is going to use this Overlord. He's going to probably see everything that's going on, as this Marine is going to pop out over here. But you know, hope for LeBouf's sake, I hope that he can get a full scout to see exactly what's going on. Although he does have this drone, he knows about this wall off. They probably both players probably expect to see some kind of more economic play. Thrust actually getting that second gas geyser. Maybe might be seeing some kind of Dark Templar, could be seeing a lot of Stalkers. You know, the possibilities right now are pretty endless. Nothing has really been set in stone. Although we do have LeBouf just mining from this one gas with one drone. So it looks like he does have that Zergling speed upgrade. So we might be seeing one thing that I talked about before, which was the Hellion and Zergling pressure. But you know, we're going to have to see. It looks like actually instead Makomi going for the earlier expansion, even beating his opponents out on the timing of that expansion, despite Pyrodyne and Thrust kind of showing signs that they were going to be a bit more defensive. As you can see, they even have this bunker down. They created this full wall off. Thrust actually threw down quite a few gateways. This is actually going to be a 4-gate, as you can see here, all 4 of these gateways. So really, I do like this play from Earlham College. This is going to make that Makomi and LeBouf think that they are going to be going for this defensive build, where they're going to be expanding super early and using this wall off to try and get that expansion down, when in reality they're actually going to be going for a super aggressive build. So you can see here we have these 3 barracks and actually a factory coming up, and a 4-gate from Thrust. So really interesting to see what these players are all deciding to do. It looks like there's a lot of stuff going on in the production tab. A little bit hard to keep track of, but LeBouf has that roach worn down, starting to produce just a couple of roaches as he did expand. So really, this game is going to come down to, I believe, whether or not Makomi and LeBouf can hold off the incoming pressure build that is going to be coming from their opponents, Thrust and Pyrodyne. You know, I don't think that LeBouf or Makomi really has any idea of exactly what's going on. So it might be a little bit difficult. They might be caught with their pants down. But Makomi doing a good job, at least getting up that missile turret. He did see that the Protoss grabbed a relatively early gas. I'm not sure what the gas timing he saw on from the Terran player. Might be a little bit worried about Banshees, but you know, it's always good to play a little bit safe, get that missile turret up, and have that detection for any incoming Dark Templar or anything. That way he doesn't have to waste a scan. But Makomi seems to be going for a more barracks-heavy army at the moment. He has a lot of Marines out right now. Does even have that tech lab getting that combat shields. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a stim going down right after that combat shields finishes. And even getting the +1 ground attack, and that might be useful as long as it finishes before this army decides to move out. He could do a lot of damage with those Marines in the defense. And even going to be seeing a reactor, wow, so a lot of barracks come from Makomi, and we're going to see a lot of Marine production. But at the same time, he does finally throw down that factory. And Thrust and Pyrodyne maybe deciding not to put on that early aggression I was talking about, deciding to expand instead. I'm not sure how much I like this. As long as they move out with their force of Marine Stalkers and Sentry, I would actually be okay with this, but you know, right now, as far as I'm concerned, they are economically behind. We can see LaBouffe and Makomi both have a pretty substantially higher worker counts. As we can see, we have 37 drones for LaBouffe and 41 SCVs for Makomi, and Thrust and Pyrodyne are actually falling quite a bit behind. It's 26 and 29 workers. So they are going to be playing catch-up unless they put on some aggression and, you know, are able to maybe kill off a couple of workers or even at least kill off the army and potentially even end the game. Looks like these bunkers were salvaged. Oftentimes we do see players salvaging their bunkers right before they're about to move out for an attack. I really do hope for their sake that they are about to, and it looks like actually siege mode is done, so maybe we might be seeing that, but this supply depot hasn't been lowered yet, and they really can't move out until it's lowered. Really hoping that these two players do decide to put on some aggression, as the longer that they wait, the more far behind they are falling, as these natural expansions will be paying off more and more from Makomi and LaBouffe. And they're just going to have a bigger and bigger force. And we can see here, Makomi even has his siege mode done. And Makomi got his factory up quite a bit later than Pyrodyne. We're going to see this limbo line of forces moving out to put on the big aggression that I've been talking about this entire time. And we can see here, there's quite a few Stalkers actually, and even a few siege tanks, but you know, Makomi seems to be sieged up in a pretty good position, and LaBouffe is also pretty prepared, so it's going to come down to the micro. Cannot tell you how many times I've heard that. Makomi actually repositioning this tank. I love that. He's going to get such great shots off, and oh my god, Pyrodyne and Thrust really need to decide if they're going to commit or not. They're taking huge damage from this siege tank fire, and oh my god, the blink up onto the high ground of LaBouffe's main from Thrust, and he's going to be doing so much damage. He's actually going to snipe off this macro hatchery. LaBouffe surrounding with the Zerglings, and we're going to have to see, and oh my god, oh no! Thrust actually botches his blink, ends up getting picked off by all these Zerglings because he lacks the blink now, but the roaches are moving in. They're going to take out all these siege tanks of Pyrodyne as the Marines are already cleaned up, and that's going to put Makomi and LaBouffe in such a great position. They're ahead in army, they're ahead in worker counts, and wow, I think LaBouffe and Makomi must be feeling pretty comfortable with how easily they held off that push. Luckily for Thrust, he did manage to snipe off that macro hatchery, but he didn't get the main hatchery. He wasn't able to snipe off any tech. He didn't really kill off many workers or anything, so not sure how much that was worth it. And it looks like Makomi and LaBouffe are just going to take this as a sign to just go ahead and put on some aggression of their own. It looks like they might even be trying to take the gold expansion. You know, as Artosis and Tasteless are always saying, if you're ahead, get more ahead, go ahead and take the gold expansion, since, you know, what can they do? You just decimated their army. And now it looks like these siege tanks are going to play such a great role in, you know, knocking on the front door of this enemy army. And there are so many Banelings, actually. Oh my god, that must be about almost like 33 Banelings. Wow. And oh my god, this wall is just probably crying itself to sleep right now. It's gone. It did not stand a chance. And oh no, even getting so many great hits on those Zealots. Thross and Pyrodine might be in a lot of trouble right now as they're up against a lot of Marines. These stage tanks are going off, and there's the GG from Thross. And